Hello, everyone, and welcome to another amazing episode of Raw Talks live. No, we're not live, pre-recorded at the farm.
We are live with each other.
We are here with each other. That's true, in real time. So first of all, we just want to say welcome home, Mark.
Yay, I'm happy to be home.
Yes, we're very happy to have you back. It's been
Yeah,
lonely in the podcast without you.
Yeah, well, I'm back.
So today we are diving into the topic of belief systems. Do you have any fresh, updated belief systems to bring home from Sedona?
Yeah, I do actually.
Yeah. What coincidence.
Yeah. Well, those of you that don't know, I went to Sedona, Arizona to meet with our teacher, our spiritual teacher. And, one of his specialties is helping people to look at their belief systems and shift those things. And for a very long time, I've been carrying around this belief system that there's something wrong with me. Like there's just something, in hidden in the background of my soul that's like incorrect or wrong. Yeah. And I was able to kind of break through that belief system, and it really kind of changed the way that I feel about myself and the way that I look at myself and the way that I even like hold my body. So that was a powerful belief shift, just to realize that, hey, there's actually nothing wrong with me. I'm okay.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
I remember when that shifted for me too. That was huge. It's it really, I mean, it's a great it's a great topic because it really aligns with what we want to say about belief systems. It's that they really shape your reality, and
yeah.
If you somewhere in your core, you might not think it like conceptually or intellectually that there's something wrong with you. You understand that there's nothing wrong with you, but the feeling inside that it's so deeply rooted. And when that change, it's such a liberation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, how it would show up previously, this belief is like, if I would make a mistake, then something in my mind would be like, see, there's something wrong with you. It's like it kept reaffirming itself in my mind every time I made a mistake.
Yeah.
But then I just realized, like, everybody makes mistakes. Everyone, like, isn't perfect. And I don't have to feel bad about that. I don't have to like shame myself and say I'm a bad person. There's something wrong with me for these little small things, So changing the belief system changes the way that I show up, the way that I feel, the way that I interact, the way that I see the world, the way that I see other people. Yeah, it's a big thing. It's a very important topic.
I mean, it's making mistakes is that's the point of this existence, It's like if you have a problem with that and believe that anyone is able to go through this life without making mistakes, then it's just we're not really aligning with the setup of this planet, I remember one of my teachers said that I had a conversation with him one time and I asked, oh, so how are you doing? And he said, well, I'm having an argument with the universe. I'm not agreeing with how the thing is set up. And I was like, okay, so how's that going for you? And he said, yeah, it's not going great.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you have to say, Simba, about belief systems?
There's many levels of it, right? Of course, our teacher, like whenever you come to a certain level, you simplify things, and that's what I love. And that's really, it's powerful when you're able to do that. It can be a lot of work for people to get to that point many times. I think it's a spectrum when you look at what belief systems really are. But it's a perception of how things are, right? Like we talked about it before coming on to the podcast, knowing and believing, like when you know something, you don't have to believe in it. You just know it's true. But I think a lot of the belief system really comes down to, as a society, a lot of people live in their head and have an internal dialogue, and you listen to that. And most of those words in your head, like Mark was saying, oh, look, you made a mistake, you're a bad person, or whatever it was that came up, they're not really ours, right? We kind of pick them up from the environment. So when I look at belief system, it's really about what's going on. I'm not so much good, bad. What's going on? What's this voice saying? And not so much detective work. Where is it coming from? It's more what's going on with this? Where does it live in the body? And how can we nurture it so it will naturally find its way out? Because most belief system has that kind of quality. They want to leave the body, or they want to fulfill something. And once you're able to do that, you don't have to carry that belief system around anymore, right? So it's kind of like you said too, Sarah, it's a lesson. It's here to teach us something. It's here to guide us, but we hold on to it many times, right? It's like, oh no, this is the way it is, you know? So simple way is kind of like the window over here. I was saying it before, you know, if that can be clear, that can be blue, that can be red, that can be green. The window will be the same color, but what we believe will put a whole perception on it, and we will change around that. So belief systems are very powerful because they can really make you healthy and they can make you sick.
Yeah. So if we dive into a little bit of the biology of beliefs, what would you say, Mark?
Yeah, so just like what Simba said, you know, like what you believe will make you well or make you sick. And the book Biology of Belief by Dr. Bruce Lipton is actually one of the first books that I read that kind of turned me on to living a healthy life. But in his book, he talks about many different experiments around the world of different doctors where they're studying the placebo effect, in which, you know, one group of patients gets a medication, the other group gets a sugar pill, and then they study the results to see what happens. And the ones who have the sugar pill end up, you know, cured, even though they didn't get the medication. So why did they get cured? Because they believed that the power of the medication was going to work.
Yeah.
You know, and if you listen to Wim Hof, he talks a lot about this in his clinical research as well. It's the power of belief. So when you believe something so strongly and so securely that like this is what's going to happen, then it ends up happening. So whether that be about your health or be about manifesting something in your life or pretty much anything. So like our entire reality is built on this program of like what you believe.
Yeah. And that brings us into the art of manifestation that is like super trendy. I mean, it's been trendy for a while, but people are really diving into this and say like, oh, I'm going to learn how to manifest, and I'm going to manifest this, and I'm going to manifest that. But manifesting is something that we're already doing. Like everything you have in your life is something that you have manifested by your beliefs and your programming, or, you know, like your cultural inherited or you know, anything that you believe, or that is your reality. And if you change your belief system, you can change your reality. And we notice it so clearly when people come here to the farm and they do the detox with us, because the physical detox, it kind of brings you into a very deep state of healing, and that kind of kickstarts the emotional healing. And when the emotional healing starts to arise, then you start to hit the glass ceiling that is your belief systems. And that becomes so clear for us what people believe and where they have limiting belief systems in and around their life, their healing, what they're capable of, what they believe, and who they are, and all of this. All of that comes to the surface very, very fast. And that determines, it's so interesting because what they believe will determine their health or their ability to heal. And if you can just make your space bigger, so to speak, then you have more capacity, and then you have more possibilities to do things. So in reality, you can change anything, because all beliefs, none of the beliefs are solid. You can always shift, you can always expand, you can always change. But
yeah, I have this theory that if you really truly believed it enough, you would just leap off of the ground and fly in the air.
Okay.
I really do. I believe that, but like I personally don't believe it enough. because my body and my mind believes in the theory of gravity, and I don't have an example to show me that it's possible. So I stay stuck on the ground because my belief isn't strong enough that I could fly. And if you see, in the Matrix, when Neo jumps off of the building, it's like that feeling, like if you really believe, then you make it happen.
But it's very true. Like that's a good analogy that you're saying. And just picture sports, right? The first person to run, what was it, a marathon under 2 hours? Oh, it was impossible, everyone said, right? Now
Right.
this person did it. What happens? Same year, 5, 6 people will do the same thing, because now there's a model of it. Now there's a belief system. It's a possibility. Someone showed you how to do it. Now you can do it because of that. So it's not really that abstract, like, I don't know about flying, but if I would see someone fly, maybe I'll start to fly too,
Right.
We don't know. Like, that's the thing, right? Like we're potentially limitless in all sense and shape and form. And you see it a lot of times. People say, oh, that's not possible. The human body is not designed to do that. Lo and behold, someone does it. And then everyone else starts to do it too.
And that's what Wim Hof was saying. He was saying that, like, he has the power to control his immune system, and that's never been done before in science. And so he subjected himself to clinical studies to prove that he can control with his conscious mind his immune system. And now other people are doing it too.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, when it comes to your health, I would say that belief systems are everything. Everything. Because if you don't believe that you can heal, you won't heal. And it's like the saying, if you believe it, doesn't matter if you believe it or not, either way you will be correct. Like
That's
which is very true. And this brings in the whole discussion around mindset, because it's almost like the same thing. And like, if you have a positive mindset or a negative mindset, I mean, the outcome will be where your mindset is. So this brings into this discussion that I find so interesting, is that I listened to a radio station years ago in Sweden, and there was a priest there who said that heaven and hell is not something that you visit after you die. It's actually here on earth. It's available for you, because it's like your experience, it's your life experience. So you can either live in hell or heaven. It depends on, like, your outlook on things. And of course, people who are going through very extreme, like, wars and things like that, it's very difficult to say that there is, it's only your belief system or your outlook on life. But it's like but I mean, there's also many examples of people who have been living in horrific situations, and, like, through their inner world decide not to go there. I'm not gonna surrender to the hell. It's like, I'm gonna create my own manifestation on the inside, because through the inner work you can actually, like he said, control his immune system. I mean, you can control how you want to feel. Of course, you need to work through your stuff, but it's possible.
Yeah. I think that there's also this idea of cultured collective beliefs. So there's beliefs, and I think you kind of mentioned this a little bit, Simba, that they're not yours, right? They're from the outside. Yeah. And so there's collective beliefs that we're born into. Whether your family has collective beliefs, your nation that you're born into has collective beliefs. There's collective beliefs in your field of work. So there's these layers of collective beliefs, and you have the power to choose whether you agree with those or not.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, in Sweden, when I started to dive deeper into the business side of things, and then I decided, so when I chose my business mentor, I chose her partly because she's American. Because in Sweden, we're taught that, no, you can't really say that anyone is better, that you're better than anyone, or you can't really proclaim that you are very good at something, because then people are just going to look at you and think that you're that you're obnoxious, or braggy, or people don't like that. Yeah. And in America, it's just super natural to I'm doing this and da da da,
Yeah.
and everyone is like, hey, good for you, or but in Sweden it's like, oh, who do you think you are, and da, 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 da. But in America you get boosted for bringing yourself forward, or getting that promotion, and getting the things. They kind of applaud each other to do that. So for me, that I mean, we have mentioned that too when we've been writing content and things, and I've been saying, Mark, I need help, like we need to bring this, make it a little bit more American, because I mean, who is right? Because we're all people,
Right.
then I would rather go with the American way of looking at things, because I can choose, I mean, it's a stretch for me to put myself out there and talk about myself and things, because it's so deeply ingrained in me that no, we should really be just humble and quiet, and then but that's something that I can choose to do. Okay, I see my own limitation. I see people over there in America where they talk about themselves in a promotive way, it's like I can do that too, because over there that's not a bad thing, because I choose it. I choose to be more American.
I mean, it's a very big thing, belief system. The psychiatrist, I think it was an Austrian psychiatrist, Viktor E. Frankl.
Yep.
So he was a psychiatrist, and he went to Auschwitz, one of the concentration camps during the Holocaust, right? And he wrote about life, and he has a book called Man's Search for Meaning. It's a beautiful book where it really depicts it. And he writes about people living in this, like really barbaric conditions, not humane at all. And the mind just, boop, this is our reality. This is what we do. Yeah. It's like they just change and they adapt. And that is the reality, right? Mm-hmm. So since he came in with that qualification and his background and training, you could look at it differently. And when he left a legacy to the world in what you can do with a belief system. And one of the main things it says, like, between a stimuli, a trigger, and your response, there lies your freedom as a mankind. Like, you can choose, right? But you need to, like Sara said, you need to work through your autonomic nervous system and all the responses that you're not aware of, or like you said, Mark, all the conscious collected beliefs that we just adapt. You said it too, Sara. Oh, I can't say I'm the best in Sweden. Like in Sweden, the commercial is second best kitchen in town. Because if you say you're best, you're obnoxious, right? So you can say you're good, but you can't say you're the best. So it's just a weird scenario when you look at it, right? And even we know that and work with it, and it's still there, right? It goes deep.
Yeah. I was just thinking that book too, Simba. In the book, he says, you can take away everything from me, but you can never take away my choice of how I react to it.
Yeah.
How I feel about it, my belief about it. That's powerful.
I get that hits hard for me. That's I get super emotional about it. It's just there's so much liberation in that.
Yeah. It's
also the first chapter of my favorite book that is like what do you call it? Story.
Fiction? Yeah,
like nonfiction. Yeah. Shantaram. And so I opened the first page to see if I would like the book. I just read and see, and then he's in prison and he's being super, I mean, they beat the shit out of him. And he said, right there and then I had everything in my right to hate them and to despise them, but instead I chose to forgive them. Yeah. And then I was just like, boom, I got to read this book. Yeah, because it's such a powerful choice, when you're being so mistreated, and then you still choose to think of the situation in a different way. Because what it really does is that it only harms you. It doesn't harm anyone else, like what you think of them in that sense. First and foremost, it harms you. I mean, you can send darts and energetical stuff if you keep going at people, energetically, you can do that. But just not forgiving someone, then you carry that forever, and
Yeah.
that is going to bring you down, and that's not going to create, I mean, if you're aiming for heaven and not for hell in this lifetime, then that is the choice and the belief that we can have. We can choose to have that belief system that's the thing to do.
Yeah, making your own choices, right? Because it's a pre-program, you know, it's like a setting. I don't know. You buy something new, maybe this is more for guys, but you buy a new technical thing, you know, a stereo or computer or something, right? It comes preset with certain things.
Yeah.
Either you change them or you keep them the same way it is and you get the same result. And I don't like to look at the mind or the human body as mechanical or a machine like that, or like AI that some people say you can program it. Parts of the body you can program, right? The cells, like but the programming happens through the mental attitude. That's really the blueprint, right? Like your mind can't, like your body can't create something if it doesn't have a blueprint of it, or at least if there's no resistance to it. You might create something beautiful if you don't have a blueprint, but then you cannot have a resistance towards what's happening. Oh, I want to control it. I don't understand it. This is weird. I don't like it. I mean, we see it all the time when people come here. Everyone's like, yeah, we understand what you mean. And then they go off and they eat like maybe fruit or something. It's like, what about my protein? What about this? And the belief system just goes flaring up, and fear and everything, and just starts to push everything away. So you don't have to have a belief system necessarily to go somewhere. But the problem is, if you don't have one, you probably have a lot of ones that you're not aware of. You don't choose one, you probably have a lot of ones that you're not aware of that just runs your life. And that's a lot what I do with the somatic work, and really go in and see what is it that you're choosing that you're not aware you're choosing, that just keeps on perpetually create all the experiences that you have in life.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the work that I do too with the shadow work. That's I mean, the word shadow work comes from the fact that you don't see it, you know, either you don't want to see it or you can't actually see it. So if you're aware of it and you're avoiding it, that's one thing. But the parts of the shadow work that is invisible to us is usually connected to the belief system, what we believe that it should be like this. So then I don't look beyond that, or I don't question that, or I usually talk about it like when I find it in myself, there can be emotions or imprints, deep imprints that I think is me, because they've been there so long, and it's something that I can't move. It's almost like it's invisible. It's like I call it, it's like white on white, because all of a sudden it moves, and then I go, what was that? Like in meditation, or if I'm very aware, or if I'm working on something, and then all of a sudden there's like a shift inside of me, that something is that used to be fixed. So it's like a white wall, and then there's something there hiding by being very, very still. And then all of a sudden it moves. And then so if I'm aware, then I can see that and sense that within myself. And then I go, what was that? And then I just go at it. I just go straight to it. I challenge it. I look at it. I just don't let it go. And then I see, okay, it is not me. I can move that. And then I work through that and remove it. And then, whoa, my experience expands again. And that's why people like, yeah, but you've healed most of your physical stuff and whatnot, and blah, blah, blah. Why are you continuing? Because I see that there's still things left, and I know I want more. I want.
It's a lifelong process.
Yes. And it's like, I also believe that it's our nature, you know, everything in nature grows. There's nothing in nature that stops growing and then continues to live for whatever it is, or stops changing. Because if you stop growing or stop changing, then you die. That's the nature. And what I see is that people who stop growing, so nature will force you to grow one way or the other.
Yeah.
Either you choose your growth, or nature's gonna,
Or it finds you.
yes,
Yeah.
it finds you and something happens. So
And it might not be as pleasant when it finds you.
no. The growth that is forced upon you is never pleasant, because you have a resistance to it from the get-go.
Our teacher said something like that. One of our teachers, she said, I choose the challenges in my life so the universe doesn't choose them for me, because I'd rather have the challenges that I choose and go than ones that I have no idea about and just thrown on me. Of course, I will deal with them if they happen. But if I just walk around and just resist change, the universe is like, all right, here comes a curveball, and it comes when you don't see it. So it's better, in my opinion, to actually choose to do the work, and to choose your own challenges. Doesn't mean you have to look at your whole life like a renovation project. Have fun, enjoy, do things, but something comes up, work through it, continue, grow, evolve.
Yeah, for me, I feel like just being aware of the fact that belief systems are not solid. That's like, if people listen now and they go like, oh my God, where am I going to start? Where are my limiting belief systems? They're probably here. Okay, I can't find them, because, you don't see them until you see them. But just knowing that my belief systems are not solid, I can choose to change every single one of them. And it's actually quite fun to challenge your own belief systems. Like it could be anything, like, is the world flat? And then you go like, well, I don't know.
Yeah, really. I was just thinking that, Sarah. I was literally like thinking that exact same thing about a belief system. There's like some people believe the world's flat, some people believe it's round, and like, they really believe it one way or the other.
We're not going to go into whether the world is flat or round, but it's like, I go to myself and like, what evidence do I have? Like,
no, it's the power of questioning.
Yes, I question everything, and then I'm like, oh, so then that everything is like, if you just have that way of navigating yourself, like that everything is up for discussion, then you might end up in things that are less up for discussion, but it could be up for discussion, and if you just have that mindset that that I'm fluid, that I'm not rigid. And that's why, I'm not saying, so I don't eat meat, but I'm not saying that I'm not going to eat meat forever. I'm not saying that, and I've never said that. I'm saying that things might change, but right now I choose to not eat meat, because I think the way they deal with the animals is not correct.
Right.
So I don't want to buy into that. So that's, but
you're choosing that. It's a choice.
It's a choice. Right. So anyway, so it's like, for me, it's more about an attitude towards the belief systems, because if you believe that your belief systems could be changed, then your ability to change will be much greater. And it doesn't mean that you have to let go of all your belief systems. You can choose to keep which one to keep. It's up to you. Everything's up to you. It's not on us, it's up to you. You can choose whichever you want, but just understanding that they can be changed if you would like to. And there was someone who said, why not choose the belief system that will actually get you what you want? If I have this that is limiting, or I have this that is opening, why on earth are you not choosing the belief system that was gonna, open things up for you? Because it's a choice. So for me, that's the thing. Understanding that they are movable objects.
Yeah.
Then if you align with that, then when you enter a limiting belief system, then okay, I can move this. Maybe it's difficult, oh wow, this is hard. Okay, then it's just heavy and in the way, but you can still move it if you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, belief systems are belief systems. Like you said, if you're listening to this, what can you do? Start with something you want to do, maybe preferably something you have tried to do before, and say, I'm going to do it and see what comes up. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to quit this stinking job. I'm going to get out of
Wow, you're
whatever it
choosing
is
big
you want
ones.
to do, right? Whatever it is, go big, right? And look for the first voice that comes up in your mind and what it says. That's
Yeah.
your mantra. You don't have to believe in religion,
Yeah.
anything like that. That is what's keep on reaffirming itself. Oh, it will be so hard. It will be, there you go. That's the
Yep.
belief system.
Yeah.
Bam, go straight in and says something about it. And then you go ask someone else, and then you hear their belief system. It's so powerful.
Mm.
I mean, this is a story. When we choose to move to Thailand, we choose to sell off everything we own, get rid of our jobs, apartments, all these things. They're quite hard to find sometimes in Sweden. Like we got good apartments in good places, and we have a lot of things that people work hard to get, right? And we did too. And we just gave all of that up to move to Thailand for something that wasn't certain. And I remember you were saying this, Sarah.
Oh
You were
yeah.
at your hairdresser and you were telling your hairdresser about this. And she was like, wow, that's great. The next day, the hairdresser told a person that doesn't know Sarah. A new client comes in to the salon, is cutting their hair. And the hairdresser is saying, yeah, my friend is moving to Thailand, told the whole story. She gets a panic attack. How would they live? How are they going to make money? What are they going to do? Oh, that's so irresponsible. It has a consciousness on its own. You know, it
Yeah.
can go out and start attacking people because it's that strong.
Yeah.
So even if you don't want to do it for your sake, please do it for others
Mhm.
because it will other people down.
Yeah, but I mean, it was the same thing when we decided that we were gonna get a big investment and start renovating the farm and move here and stuff. And we shared that with someone who that we thought was gonna say like, "Wow, that's great," da, 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 da. And the response was, "No, you can't do that. That's not gonna work.
Mm.
The country is closed. No one is going to come. That's not going to work." And I was just, whoa. And then
Mm.
I felt all of a sudden doubt. And then I go,
Yeah.
wait a minute. No, 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 no. Don't come here with your belief systems. I am not available for that. And I just did not continue that conversation. I was like, whoa, I could feel it straight away what the impact was on myself. And I was like, I don't want that. And that's what Elena talks about also with my business coach. She says like, you got to hold the vision, hold the vision, hold the vision. If you're going to go somewhere, even if it's not flowing 100%, it's like you got to hold the vision. Even when it's stormy, even it's like you sail the ocean of life, you know, sometimes it storms, but you got to just hold that, you know, where are you going? Where are you headed? What is it that you want to do? That's where the belief systems comes in, and they, you know, you need to see how strong they are, because whatever you believe is what's going to happen. And that's what the basic rule of manifestation is. You got to believe that you already have it. So hello,
Yeah,
it's belief
and
systems.
polarities too. Like when you look at the dynamic of polarities, as that's something I've been working with a lot throughout the times, but definitely recently, I might have an experience that comes up and throws me just something obnoxious, like just something strange. Oh, what if someone does this to me, right? Some old trauma that comes up and it's a fear. And I just throw something back. What if they do the complete opposite? You know,
Yeah.
what if someone breaks into your house? What if someone comes and gives you $1 million? Oh, that's crazy. Why? I mean, how likely is it that someone breaks into your house, depending on where you live in the world, of course, right? Well, it's probably as unlikely as someone comes and gives you $1 million. So why am I thinking someone's going to break into my house? And just crossing, and then your mind starts to kind of go from one end to another, and it doesn't get stuck in one end. You're free to choose. You're free to look at things differently. Now, it requires a lot of work and discipline because the mind can be a tricky beast, and it has done so many times, and it doesn't really choose to not let go of it. But as you go in and start to kind of look at positives, negatives, and you go back and forth, you can nullify belief systems as well. And that's another way of really seeing what you can do when you let go of belief systems, right? You just feel good. If something goes good, that's good. Or doesn't matter to me. If something goes bad, doesn't matter to me either way. I'm free to have an experience. I'm not predisposed of going here or going there. I can just experience life the way it is. And I think ultimately that what happens when you start to let go of belief system, you just know and you do what's there.
Yeah. Yeah. Any final words?
Well, there's a lot more we could say about this. I just kind of I wrote this down because I think we could have a whole other podcast about it. But the root of all conflict in the world, whether it's national conflict or personal conflict with your partner, is by defending a belief system.
Yeah. That's interesting. That's actually true.
Yeah, we'll have to save that for the Sacred Union.
Yes. So what is Sacred Union, Mark?
So we have an upcoming course where, people who are interested in learning more about the dynamics of relationships, whether that be personal or interpersonal or with other people, but definitely with other people. We're going to talk about trust and safety and belief systems and help people work through things through a variety of different modalities. And it's coming up in February, the time of Valentine's, and we're reclaiming the essence of what Valentine's is and giving rise to the sacred union.
Yes, and its foundation is based on the feminine and masculine polarities, the dance between each other. So, this is for anyone it's for coaches who wants to learn more about how people work, like how are they programmed. And when we are out of balance with the feminine and the masculine, we're deeply out of balance. And having that knowledge and how to identify that in other people, it helps you not only in your friend relationship, in your marriage, in your love relationship, but also if you are helping other people, if you are coaching or healing other people, then it's very easy to spot when people are out of balance. If you know what you're looking for, so it's extremely helpful to just navigate the people that you have around you. It's almost as powerful as knowing about the nervous system. It's very deep, and you can see that a lot of people are out of balance, and knowing how to get back into balance and how to navigate that. So it's online 6-week course where we will go through all of the things that we discussed, plus there will be live coaching and different somatic practices, and it's going to be awesome. We're going to pour everything that we know into this, and there will only be one time live. So if you sign up before end of November, so as we record this, that's almost just a week left. So this will be released just before this early bird runs out. So end of November, you will get it for a fraction of the original cost. So sign in on livingwiththespirit.com. You find it under online and the Sacred Union, and then you can read more and sign up. What we also offer now in and around the upcoming holidays is we are campaigning on the retreats and the holistic lifestyle redesign mentorship programs. So until end of January, we will have reduced prices for both the retreats and the mentorships. So the next cohort of the mentorships will launch or start February 4 or 5, in that first week of February. So if you're interested in signing up for the new year for our next cohort of mentorship programs, you can do it at a reduced cost. So you can just reach out to us and learn more. And the same thing about the retreat. So if you book now or book before end of January, you can arrive anytime during 2024. So that's our holiday. So it's just recently been Thanksgiving. It's I think it's Black Friday today, and it's
Yeah.
upcoming Christmas and New Year. So we're just doing one big campaign that covers 2 months.
Yeah.
So if you sign up before the end of January, you get the discounts. So just reach out to us and to find out what that is. But for both the mentorship and the retreats, I think it's like a $2,500 discount. So it's a massive discount of the total price. So you can read more about that in our newsletters and on social media and stuff. Or if you just want to give me the discount, give me the information, just reach out anywhere and we will reply. Read more about us at livingwiththespirit.com, and we will see you next week with more in-depth topics. Thank you, guys.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
See you later.
Ciao.